It's finally time, guys. This is Lee with Untapped Potential. Let's do part 5 of Jace's campaign. After 2 years of training, you've learned the truth. Alhamarrett has been using you as a go-between, selling intel to both sides and wiping your memories regularly. He's even concealed your nature as a planeswalker. When you confront him, the Sphynx unleashes a devastating psychic attack. Alright guys, it's time. Jace vs Alhamarrett. But a quick word of warning, Alhamarrett is too tough to defeat in physical combat. Exhaust his mental resources by making him draw from an empty library, and you win no matter what his life total is. That's right, everybody. It's milling time. So Jace versus Alhamarrett. We're both playing with full 60 card decks, and we're on the play. We got the all-important Sphynx's tutelage in our opener, as well as ways to draw a bunch of extra cards and counter spells. We're in a pretty good spot here. We go ahead and play our first creature. We're not going to ever bother to attack this battle. There's no reason to. This is purely a battle of wits. And as right before, he starts playing a bunch of walls, so we probably weren't going to attack anyway. Alright, this is the all-important turn where the tutelage has to come down and it resolves. So now it's just we play the waiting game. So we should have this pretty well in hand. What could he do? There's a Riddle Keeper, which if any of our dudes attack would let us self-mill, which as long as we have Psychic Spiral in our deck, might be something we think about doing later. We go ahead and mill Alhamarrett for a quick 2, deciding against attacking, and then we decide to hold off, keep our counter magic in hand. Wait and see what he does. He attacks here, we do not declare blocks, and then he uses Unsummon to return our creature to our hand. We go ahead and use its activated ability to draw a card and mill Alhamarrett for 2 more. So that was pointless. So we take a damage here, but unfortunately since we tapped out, he's able to resolve his own Sphynx's tutelage. Now it's on. Okay, so we go ahead and play Jace's, not Jace's Phantasm. Is that Jace's Phantasm? We play a card here. We also go ahead and draw an extra card. 2 of them, in fact, using both of our triggers to target Alhamarrett, who now has 23 cards in his yard. That worked well. So, we milled about 16 cards just then between 2 activations, which also gives our creature +4/+4. And here's another trigger. We hit 2 this turn. Not as exciting, but it's a thing. We play another creature that we can use to repeatedly draw extra cards, and we still keep cancels in our hand. Here we go, getting milled, but at the current rate, we are winning. You might as well not even be looking at our life totals. The totals here are the number of cards left in our decks. We counterspell Alhamarrett, and then we mill him again here for another 2. Not as much as we would like, but it'll get the job done. We play another creature here just in case he starts trying to go on the attacking offensive, because even though we can't beat him by damage, he certainly could beat us. Fortunately though, all he has is another defender that's not worth using our cancel on. And here's Turn the Tide, which means even if he does try to attack, we can just make his creatures weaker. So we do the same thing. Phantom Warrior, which gets countered, and since we don't really need the creature anyway, we don't use our counter magic on it, we just pass the turn back. The important thing here is to keep up cancel to make sure that he doesn't have a way to suddenly dramatically reduce the number of cards in our library. Here's another defender. Okay, we're not attacking anyway. Okay, here's Jace's Mindbender, and not really sure what goes wrong here. It lets us look at the top 4 cards of his... We mill the top 5 cards of his library, and we can play any instants or sorceries from them. And I really want to use the Vision Skeins. I want to so bad. We each get to draw 2 cards. That's 2 more activations. But alas, the game is having none of it. Can't figure out why. And ultimately, we've got this game in maximum 5 turns anyway, so I decided the headache's just not worth it and decided to play it safe. Yeah, I don't know what happened either. So the current score is 24 us, 13 them. We go ahead and hit him again here for 2 more cards. Waiting and seeing what we decide to do here. We actually hold off in order to use activations of our creatures and to potentially use cancel. So he uses the draw discard ability of his Sphynx's tutelage here to mill us for an extra couple of cards. And in our end step, we decide to return the favor. We go ahead and throw out Nimbus of the Isles as we don't really need it. So we mill him for 2 more here. Now on our turn, we hit him again. He's down to 5. We play an island. We play Phantasmal Dragon because, why not? It gets countered, fine. It's not important, we don't need it anyway. Which finally Means that with Alhamarrett only having 5 cards left in his library and us having counter magic and everything we need, we should be in a really good spot. He again uses the activated ability of his Sphinx's tutelage. At the end of our turn, we draw a card with our creature, milling him down to a single card in his library. And we draw Traumatize entirely too late, which would have let us literally flip over half his library. Oh well. So we go ahead, mill him out, and Alhamarrett has been defeated. I forgot to turn the volume back on here, so here's a silent cutscene. Battle of Wits. So basically this is what milling looks like, as both sides of us are simply trying to deplete our mind and not our body. However, there's one thing we have that Alhamarrett doesn't, and that's a spark. So now our spark is igniting and we are besting the Sphynx. According to the story I read on the Magic website, we literally break Alhamarrett's mind so hard that he forgets how to breathe. So, does that mean he asphyxiated? Yes, I've been waiting 2 months to make that joke. No, I'm not sorry. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, we are now on Ravnica, the giant city, the city of guilds, and the place that Jace will come to call home. And with that, Jace's campaign is complete. Your duel with Alhamarrett shatters both of your minds. In the process, your planeswalker spark ignites, sending you to the plane of Ravnica and leaving precious few fragments of your memory intact. As you reassemble your identity, you come to see this plane-spanning city as a place you can finally call home. There you have it, guys. Jace is now on Ravnica, which will become his default home. He will eventually become the living guild pact of Ravnica, more or less its president. But more on that another time. This has been Lee with Untapped Potential. I hope you've enjoyed this series. Thanks for watching.